Since the dawn of time, man has been curious. And for almost as long, the Vibes Broadcast Network has sought the truth. Investigate, discuss, explore. Okay, maybe in other episodes, but this one is just listen to the vibes.
The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes Broadcast Network. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I'm very privileged to have Miss Kimberly Meredith with me today. She's a healer and an intuitive, and she has a book out called Awakening to the Fifth Dimension. And first off, before I ask you about the fifth dimension, I want to know a little bit more about your abilities.
My medical mediumship abilities or
Yes.
good abilities.
We want to get into all of it, but let's start off with the medical part.
I get the information from my guides that
Mhm.
come in. After my near-death experience, I had a full-blown awakening.
Okay.
Yeah, I have many spirit guides that come in and tell me my information.
And so you said you had a near-death experience. Is too much to ask? Can you talk about it?
Yeah. So near-death experiences is when you leave your body. They're called out-of-body experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hit by a car in 2013, and that was one of my near-death experiences. I left my body and went to the other side.
Oh, gosh. That. Now I'm curious. I ask everyone this question, but what exactly is it like when you get this information? Do you see someone, and I mean, how do you see them? How do you hear them?
Well, the way I communicate with my guides is they just speak to me and I communicate with them and I help people.
Okay. And I guess what I wanted to elaborate on is it a way to maybe help the doctors, or do you have certain things that you can tell people that they can do to help with whatever's ailing them?
I communicate with people. I help them connect to understanding what's wrong with their body. I find out the root cause of what's wrong with people's bodies. So if you come into me and you have like a torn meniscus tear or a brain tumor or a cancer or COVID, the guides also try to communicate how you got it, why you got it, and help you move forward with nutritional plans and various ways of communicating with understanding that there's all kinds of reasons why people get things, but also how to raise your vibration through your consciousness.
Okay, that's another thing I wanted to touch on was the higher vibrations, because I've talked to several people about this. I try to bring my vibrations up, and unfortunately sometimes I get a little too negative. But do you have advice on how to do that?
Yeah, I wrote my new book called Awakening to the Fifth Dimension, Discovering the Soul's Path to Healing. And there's many different ways that my guides, after my NDE happened and I had my full-blown awakening, because I wasn't doing that before, talking about any of this stuff, started doing the healing on me because I was severely injured.
Mm-hmm.
And I started learning how to go into a fifth dimension, which is an energy of the omnipresent. And that is learning how to raise your vibration. And so some of the ways to do that is through meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people do a lot of things that are in more of a third dimensional frequency, which is worry and fear,
Yes,
instead of moving ourselves into the fifth dimension, which is more of going into state of meditation and prayer and learning how to get ourselves out of the stinking thinking. And when we're in the stinking thinking of fear, we can't have love in our bodies. And that is more of the raising of vibration of affirmations. And so that's what I try to teach in my book, is going into more of the raising of our vibrations and more positive thinking. And that is in the fifth dimension.
Yeah, I have the biggest problem with thinking positive all the time. I try. I honestly try. But I guess like Yoda said, there's do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, that's true. I love that saying.
In your book, You mentioned something about your hands and your eyes were kind of unique as a child. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Sure, Kyle. I didn't really think that there was something wrong with my hands or my eyes because I was just me, being who I was as a kid. But other people were pointing out that there was something different about me. Kids didn't want to hold my hands. And my mother would continuously slap me across the face and tell me to stop blinking because I had a tick, with blinking, and I stuttered. I still stutter.
I fight that too.
I'm a channel. But yeah. And so I had a lot of blinking going on from the age of 6 months old to 7 years old. And a lot of people that are starseeds and crystals and people that have energy that see the paranormal or energy that are connected to spirits have these interesting ability, sometimes push it away around the age of 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was around 7 when I stopped the blinking because I was told to stop it. I didn't know that I was communicating with spirit at that age, but after my near-death experiences, my eyes started blinking again.
Okay.
And I was communicating with God. And that's what I do now. That's what I do every day. That's my life, is that I blink and communicate with God, and I help people find what's wrong with them, meaning, illnesses and communicating spiritually. And I'm sort of like a private investigator to help people catch things, pre-existing conditions, and my eyes blink in code. So they tell me different things that are going on in the body.
Okay. So the blinking that in the code that you get, that's mostly just to you, or do you notice that in other people?
I don't notice blinking in other people. No, it's
Okay.
my communication with my spirit guides that left me and came back after my near-death experience. Other people have their own gifts and ways of communicating with God and spirit. And that's why I wrote the book, so people can open up to their own special gifts and not push them away.
Okay. Now I don't want to focus on myself, but I know when I get in communication with spirits, which mine is, I don't know if it's more of emotion or what, but my ears pop every time I get around spirits.
Yeah. I think ears popping, I've heard so many things, ears popping, I've heard burping, I've heard,
My friend Monica does that.
Yeah, I've heard so many different things that go on. Yeah, it's amazing.
Now, when you go into a session with someone, number one, do they have to be there with you, or can you do it remotely?
Yeah, great question. I have to say, I'm only in the office twice a week right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because of COVID, it's because, and I love working with everybody. I don't care if you've got tuberculosis, HIV, whatever you have. I've always been like this. I was in nursing as a nurse assistant since I was like 21 years old. I've
Mhm.
always loved helping people. I'm the first one to run in and save someone's life, jump on them, help them. It's just that there's such a big need for me to be online. Skyping is a big deal because so many people can't get in right now to find out. The MRIs, the CAT scans, it's just healthcare is gone crazy.
Right.
So why people reach out to me is because it's not like there's a shortage of mediums either. There's a lot of mediums out there. It's because, I go over someone's body and someone may say, she's not getting this part, she's not getting that part. But when I go over you, my guides are going to go to that root cause of why it's happening to you. So like, I'll go over you, I'll go, oh, they're telling me you've got COVID. Oh, they're telling me you got a breast lump. They're telling me you got a breast lump, you got this, you got that. If I get hot flashes, it means it's cancer. And you may not know you have it. Some people will argue with me, go, I don't got that. I don't have that. I don't have that. No, I don't have that. And my guys are saying, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And the thing is that I don't ever diagnose. My guides will say, it's an energy I'm feeling. Something is going on there. And then it's for you to go and get it checked out and make sure. And I'm always really very gracious, because I say ego or I go. If someone says to me, no, that's not right, Kimberly, I'm like, okay, but go get it checked out.
Right.
Because if you're cool and it's okay after I say something is wrong, then I'm happy. But if you go and then email me back and go, you know what, you blinked on my thyroid and I have 4-stage thyroid cancer, and I am so grateful that you said that, because now I can get it healed fast.
Oh, okay.
And I caught it on a Skype. Or I have a lump. So in my book, I talk about the miracle healings in the appendices. And I've caught so many little 2nd-stage cancers and stuff on little breasts where people have had implants and stuff, and they've gotten infected. And that's why I died. And I think God brought me back. I do a lot of pre-detective and I love that when we can do that and help. And even with animals and children. And that's why I'm on Skype. I'm on Skype. My day is like, I'm on the Skype. I'm on the Skype like all day. Yeah. All day. I'm a godaholic with working. Like I work 7 days a week.
Oh, wow. Do you have an actual connection with the patient, or is it just through the guides?
No. I love my clients. Yeah. So after we do, the guides come in, we do the scanning and everything, then we get into the healing. And when we're doing the healing, it's me, you, and the omnipresent. And it's really emotional and beautiful.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, we talked a little bit about this before we started the interview. I've been in and out of the doctor's offices and in and out of the hospital last few years. I mean, my health problems kind of went down when I was about 36. So you're looking at 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to switch doctors at the moment because I don't like the way it just seems like I'm not getting the attention that I'm supposed to when it comes to all the problems with my bones and whatnot. And, I've done really good as far as my diabetes goes. I lost a lot of weight, changed my diet, and I eat a lot more vegetables and things like that now.
Oh, great. Praise God.
Yeah, exactly. And try to eat leaner meats, and but most of all, I stay away from all the junk that I used to eat. I used to sit down and eat a whole bag of chips by myself. I'm talking the family size.
Oh God.
Big bag of M&Ms, that kind of stuff. It was just, I don't know. I never could get full enough back then. And then trying to exercise now and, drink more water and all those kind of things. They've really helped, but I'm still having one problem after another. And I said, you could read me if you wanted to, but you don't have to. But I mean, if there's any advice that you may be able to give, I would love to hear it.
Sure. I mean, when I'm reading you, they just keep going into your lower intestinal tract, and then your low back, and your hip and your knee. They keep going over and over about a knee. They keep just talk about his knee for some reason. I don't know why.
I got it.
They're going on about a knee, and then your low back. They're talking about. And a hip, and then something about around your mouth. I don't know if you've ever had issues with your teeth, and then around your throat and the back of your neck.
Okay. I can tell you do you want me to tell you about my throat?
Sure.
Okay. You probably can't see it on camera, but I had surgery here.
Okay.
What happened was my first problem was in my neck. And so they had to go in. They had to put a bone graft in, and they have a metal device that holds it together. And, they have to move your throat out of the way to work on all this stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
It didn't stay bad for long, but I did notice a few little problems right afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And my lower spine.
Yeah, they're talking about that a lot.
I had a bone graft there. They actually had to cut my stomach open.
They're talking about your stomach. They want to feel that stomach. Yeah.
And they moved the intestines out of the way to get to it.
Yeah.
And so that was a little over a year ago. And it helped. I was in a wheelchair. Now I walk around. Mostly I have to use my cane, but I'm mobile. But it's starting to revert.
Yeah, they're talking about that. They want you healed. So they're talking about that. They're giving me chills about that. And they're saying that's important for you to be healed. They're talking about you being on a really strong probiotic. Like there's one that I really love called Inner Echo Probiotic. It's a coconut probiotic. You get it at Whole Foods. It's a real blessing you're here.
I shouldn't be.
No,
there was
shouldn't.
several times that I could have died, but I'm still here. What was the name of that probiotic? Because I want to write that down.
Yeah, it's called Inner Echo, INNERECCO, and I have it in my book. I talk about that. There's a lot of nutritional ideas in here. It's called Inner Echo Probiotic, and it's the coconut one. It's really good. They just keep honing in on the stomach area because the stomach is connected to the brain and getting more oxygen. They're telling me that you need more hydration.
Okay. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I've already gone down a few times and ended up in the emergency room because for some reason I just can't get enough water or something.
Yeah. Keeping the minerals in your body. Mineral water would be good for you also. And they're giving you healing right now. My guides are giving you healing.
It must be the butterfly feeling I'm getting.
Yeah, we're doing the healing on you. Yeah, it's a real blessing to be here with you today.
Twice I've had to go in because of my stomach. There was just a really bad pain in my stomach. And 3 doctors, 3 different tests. Nobody could tell me what was wrong. And I'll tell you off air what happened, but it went away. But it seems like I don't know, just almost waiting for it to happen again.
Well, I think it's going to be okay. Just like some things have moved around because you were situated and moved, and things like that can happen.
Okay. Now, you're also a speaker, correct?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us about where you've been and maybe if you have something coming up?
Thank you. Yeah, I've been a spiritual speaker. Some people call it motivational speakers, but I'm more of a trance channel speaker from the guides, Holy Spirit. When I go out there, I talk about raising our consciousness, and I've spoken across the world. I've been to Alaska, I've been to Mexico, I've been to LA Conscious Expo quite a few times, about 4 years now, and I've been to New York City. New Life Expo, and I'm headed out to the New Living Expo pretty soon in May. I'll be with Marianne Williamson, who's a great speaker, Course in Miracles lady. Dr. Bruce Lipton will be there, John Gray, and Michael Beckwith. I'll be speaking with him, and David Wilcock. I love him.
I do know him.
Yeah, I love him. And I just did the LA Conscious Expo with George Norrie again, and Daniel Brinkley, who's another near-death experiencer. So yeah, I do the circuits, the expo circuits, and I'm going to be doing something with Les Brown. I don't know if you like Les Brown.
I do know him.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm a little different than some of them because I do the speaking, but then the guides like to go in the audience. They're on the edge and they like to pick people. They can kind of feel it out. I'm also clairvoyant, clairaudient, and I can feel out who they want to bring on stage. And then they do the channeling, and then they tell everything that's going on in the body. And then they like to do the healing. And so this is really going to be exciting in May because this is the second open event we've had in 2 years.
Okay.
Now, it's the New Living Expo.
And if people want to get tickets to that, how do they do so?
Yeah, so this is going to be at my website, thehealingtrilogy.com or the newlivingexpo.com. And we're already selling hundreds of tickets to that.
Okay. Now, yeah. I usually save the paranormal stuff for my other show, but David, he's really into the UFO and alien world. What do you feel about that?
I'm also into it. I have a little bit about it in my book. I helped my good friend Alan Steinfeld get his book published called Making Contact. I do cross over into that world. I feel that the hybrids, the aliens, they're very good. There's a lot of good ones here, and they're here to help us advance and help the world. And the next 10 years is a crucial time for advancement into the awakening.
I'm just waiting. I know it's going to happen, and I keep looking to the skies. And do you
Yeah,
know Carolyn Corey?
I do. I know Carolyn. I know Linda Moulton Howe. I know Barbara Lamb. I know, and it's my group too. So I know a lot of them.
I've had Carolyn on the show
Yeah,
before.
I like
She's just
Carolyn.
so awesome. I love her. Do you know Robert Clotworthy?
I do. I know Whitley Strieber. I don't know if you know him, but he'll be there.
Okay. No, Robert is the narrator for the
Oh,
show,
oh,
and
really?
I
Oh,
had
okay.
him on. He's a really nice guy. And Hugh Newman, who's another author, and he's more into like giants and things like
Okay.
that. He's been on. So I have quite a connection over there to ancient aliens and all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I I love the Ancient Alien group. Do
That
you know Jimmy Church?
I know the name.
Okay, he has a lot of people on his show.
um, okay. Also, you have something called the Angel Club.
I do. I did a
Okay.
group once called the Angels and Aliens. It was really fun. Yeah, my Angel Club is really cool. It's $300 to join for the year.
Hmm.
And that comes down to being like $16 a class. And you get discounts on all of my retreats. You get the full access to all the videos on demand. And I mean, you can watch videos all day long of all the classes. So people that come into the class, like David Wilcock, I don't know if you know him, or Howard Wills, or special guests that come in. You don't have to pay extra money to be in these events. Once you're a member, you get all these special things and videos, and so it's really a great thing to belong to the Angel Club.
Is this an interactive type
It
thing
is.
where people can talk to you?
Yes, online. It's our webinar online classes, and also you get discounts when we do retreats.
Okay. Now talk about your book again. Um, Number one, where can people get it if they want to read it?
Good idea. Yeah. So you can easy access is to go to my website, thehealingtrilogy.com, but you also can just go to Amazon and Amazon UK if you're, in the UK, and you just put Awakening to the Fifth Dimension, and it should come up right away. And it's also at Barnes and Noble. It's actually at Walmart and Target also.
Okay.
It's,
Are my two favorite places?
I know the publishers are like, you don't really need to tell them Walmart and Target, but I love Walmart and Target. So, yeah, it's really and a lot of indie bookstores have it right now. So,
Okay.
but thehealingtrilogy.com is fast, easy access. Once you get to my website, I have all the links on the front page.
Okay. Now, is it only like paperback and hardback, or is it can you get
Oh,
like electronic?
you are very good. You remind me of everything. It is an audiobook.
Okay.
I did make an audiobook that and it is an audiobook, and that is I actually say I'm a #1 bestseller in the audiobook.
Oh, there you go.
And it's because people don't like to read all the time. People like to listen. And so the audiobook, and I narrated it. So
Okay. Yeah, I get tons of books from people I have on my show, and I've got book after book after book I need to read, and it gets so difficult to sit down and do it. But oh,
yeah.
I need to get into it more. And audio would be that would be a blessing.
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't think I was going to make it through that audiobook. Oh my gosh, because being a channeler, your voice changes and goes
Mhm.
into different you know, you'll find out. If you buy the audio, you'll say, "Wow, is that Kimberly?" Who is coming through now? So people are really digging the audiobook.
Now, even though I'm, I guess you could say, into this world, with the psychics and course, the paranormal and everything like that. I'm probably one of the biggest skeptics as well.
Sure.
But it keeps me on my toes, and it makes me do investigations a lot better, and I'm more open to any kind of criticism that people may have. But have you ever had anybody like test you, maybe verify what you do?
Oh yeah. When I say like 2013, 14, 15 is when 2013 is when I got severely injured. 14 and 15, I was healing up. I was still in a wheelchair. And then around, I think it was like 15, 16 is when people started finding out about me. And then a lot of scientists and people were looking into me. I started getting calls.
Mm-hmm.
And I was flying into New York, and these healings were happening, or tumors were dissolving off people's bodies. So more and more people were finding out what the secret, what the belief, all this secret people, producers and stuff. So Noetic Ions Institute, SciTech, Dr. Norm Shealy, they called me and said, do you want to come in our organization and be tested? And I go with what my eyes want me to do, my blinkers. So, if they say yes, then I go. If they say no, I don't want to go. And I said, I'm going to go. My girlfriend's like, why do you want to go? Why do you have to prove anything to anybody? You already know you can activate your hands and dissolve these tumors and energies off people's bodies. We've filmed it. We've shown it. It is happening. Jesus, no one even believed Jesus could do this, and why do you have to prove these things? And I said, I want to go. It's okay. I'll go. So I went and I was tested vigorously at Norm Shealy's. I was there for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty intense. And we filmed it. And that's in my book. He wrote the foreword, and he has pretty intense information. And then I went, that wasn't enough. Then I went to the Ions Institute, and I was in a Faraday cage. They lock you in there. And that was really interesting. But it was bored. For me, it's boring, because the guides know so much. They're so advanced. I went beyond the testing because I know a lot about water. I know what's in water, what needs to be done with the water. I know a lot about cancer and science and environmental pollution. I know where the world is going, what we need, what we don't need. So I suppose they want me to come back.
Would you say your healing is at laying of hands, like you maybe see in a Pentecostal church?
I don't really feel it's in a church. It's more of a spirituality of calling in Christ consciousness, all civilizations tapping into. And we all have the capability to use more of our brain and tap into this energy. And that's why I call it the fifth dimensional energy and beyond. And that's why I feel we're moving out of the 3D anyway. We were depopulating out of 3D right now, and we all are moving into this higher dimensional frequency. And that's why this book was channeled, and it's a guidebook. It's a beginning. I'm already writing my next book. We have many dimensions,
right?
But at least get into the fifth.
Well, I used to be a fundamental independent Baptist preacher.
Oh, cool.
And that was many years ago. But and I'm by no means am I saying anything bad about any religion whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I had my problems, and especially with my preacher, and just I moved away from it. I got mad. I got mad at God, and felt like I'd been let down, and just totally went opposite of the way I was. I went back to drinking and drugs and all those kinds of things, and took me having a heart attack to open my eyes up again. It took me a little while, but I got over all the drugs and the drinking. And when I got remarried, I started to get a little bit more into spirituality. I feel like religion is a man-made thing, and it has very little to do with God. God's a part of it, but it's like their rules and not his rules. So, I could be off base with this, but I feel closer to God meditating and just talking to him than I ever did sitting in a pew.
Yeah.
That might be controversial for some people, but that's just the way I feel about it. And I mean, what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have, I have just such a close relationship. I love that thoughts that you're having. I have such close relationships with the Holy Spirit, God,
Mhm.
that I feel whether I'm sitting in a park or under a
Excuse me.
tree or at the beach or in a beautiful church or wherever I am, that God is so embedded in my body that, and in my third eye, that it's with me. And when I was a little girl, my dad never went to church, but my mother did. And my stepfather was Jewish, so we went to temple. So I was very around all kinds of things, and I didn't always understand everything that was going on. But I remember asking my dad, I said, "Why don't you go to church, Dad?" And he said, "Because my church is in the backyard under the tree
Mm-hmm.
where I speak to God." And my dad was a guitarist. He wrote music, and he was the kindest man with the big, beautiful blue eyes. He died young,
Mm-hmm.
and he had gone to Vietnam War,
Oh.
and he loved Jesus. And it just made me look at him. And I remember feeling that, but I also loved sitting in temple. I loved sitting in the church, but I didn't like all the rules all the time with everything. And because of the way I am now and how I bring in the Christ energy, and how when I lay my hands on people and when we chant any kind of prayer, it could be I am love, I am light, or the Hail Mary, or Baruch atah Adonai. I know the Jewish prayers. Anything, anything that brings in that highest love, light energy, and things just dissolve and fly off and go into that fifth dimensional cosmic light energy. It's the energy of love, which is God, and it's not judgmental.
Right. Which that's another thing I'd always had a struggle with. It's just almost like, okay, I'm supposed to love everybody, but then I'm supposed to hate everybody at the same time. It made no sense.
Right. So we can't judge anybody for what they love. So I can't judge someone if they want to go sit in that pew. If they have that in their heart, I can't judge them.
Of
And I
course
can't
not.
judge the man that wants to sit under the tree and love God.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I feel closest to him, not only in meditation, but when we go to the river, and
Yeah.
the waters up here around Austin are very clear. So, I mean, you could just scoop it up and drink it right there. And you can see your feet in the water and
Yeah.
the fishes and everything. And you've got nature, the animals, the plants, the trees, all that. And that's where I feel the most comfortable. Water makes me so calm.
So nice. Yes. And that will heal you.
Mhm.
And Jesus, he sat on a rock and he preached the word of God, his Father. So yes,
Exactly.
you're exactly correct, Kyle.
Now, being that we both believe in God, we both believe in Jesus and its Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Um, do you ever have those that are, say, in the church that come out and say, all that you're doing is witchcraft or something like that? You ever get people around you like that?
I guess because I most of the people that come to me, and it's funny you say that, most of the people that come to me, they mostly just say, "Put your hands on me, heal me." They're mostly just, heal me. They just want me to heal them. Most people say, "Is it okay if I'm Mormon? Is it okay if I'm Jewish? If okay, if wait, can you still heal me?" That's mostly what I get. Is it okay if I'm this and that? And I'm like, of course, of course. Um, I don't get too much of your blasphemy or something like that. I mean, one time I was at an event and some lady in the back screamed out blasphemy, and then I think it was in such a big group of millennials. I think it was like 200 kids screamed out, "Shut up."
I
Get
hear
her out of,
you.
get her out of here. So not too much, really, actually, not too much. I think we're in the day and age, like right now, that where there's so many people that are just so into this healing and the energy of love. And it's kind of like, I feel like we're in like the era of the Beatles. All we need is love, and everybody wants this right now, especially now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say, that what goes on Twitter, that's not the real world. You meet the average person on the street and they want to get along with people. They want to love people. They want to communicate and help each other out. I mean, I've seen in my own community, I'll go to the store and it doesn't matter what church they go to. It doesn't matter what the color of their skin
Right.
is. Doesn't matter what the hair looks like or how they dress. We have conversations. And what you see on Twitter and other social media is not what's really going on.
If you go to TikTok, everyone on there is like, I love the fifth dimension. Da 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 da. I'll help. It's much different than Twitter. You are exactly correct. So
Yeah.
different. Different
Yeah.
social media platforms are different.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazies out there, I will say, but I mean, I say you have to actually meet people and talk to people
Actually, yes.
in person, not what you see on social media. That what you see on there is what I think people think you want to see, and it's not.
It's an illusion a lot. Yes.
But well, we can keep going on with this for hours, but
Yes.
tell me about your social media website.
Yes. You can find me at thehealingtrilogy.com for sessions. I do Skype sessions, in-person office, and my book, of course, and all my events at thehealingtrilogy.com. Also, my Instagram is Meredith Kimberly. And my Facebook page is Kimberly Meredith 11. And I do a lot of Facebook Lives, actually,
Okay.
Free readings there. And also on my Instagram page, I do too. I do Instagram Lives.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm going to put all the links in the description of this video so people can just click on it and go to it.
Thank
And
you.
I wish you all the best. Thank you for what you've done for me and this time that we got to spend together. And I encourage people to at least check her out, maybe get the book. And
Thanks. I've been sending you healing energy while we've been here, and it's been an honor to be on your show. And I just want to send everybody love and light, and everybody deserves a miracle, and keep spreading love to all the brothers and sisters out there.
That's very true. Well, for those of you that are new to the show, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe and come back. And for those of you who are regular, thank you for your support. Spread the word. And until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network